Hey investors, thanks for investing your time in this video. I hope you all get a great return. In my previous video, we talked about innovation and breakthrough discovery and why we should question traditional approaches and conventional wisdom. At the end of that video, I claimed that if someone succeeds in a particular domain, that doesn't mean he or she precisely knows which factors played a role in their success, because it's one thing to build a successful business and it's quite another to explain how to reproduce their success. And in this video, I want to explain why I think so. If you want to learn more, please keep watching this video till the end. To understand this, first we have to understand why we don't learn from our mistakes. Say for instance, you have a headache. Can you tell me all the possible causes of the headache? Well, if you are like me with just basic knowledge of medicine, then you will probably come up with 5 or 6 causes on average, like cold or flu, dehydration, stress, migraine, high blood pressure, watching my videos, and so on. But if I ask the same question to a physician, then they will easily come up with maybe 40, 50 or even more causes for the headache. I think we can all agree that in general, the probability of correct prediction about the root cause of the headache by a physician will be far better than you and me, the general population. My point is, to comprehensively analyze and accurately diagnose the root cause of any issues, you have to have in-depth knowledge of all the factors that influences the outcome. And in this case, the more we know about all the factors that can cause headaches, more accurate our prediction might be. Similarly, unless we know all the contributing factors that lead to a mistake, we will fail in accurately diagnosing the root causes of our mistakes. We make plenty of mistakes in our daily life, and as humans, it's in our nature to go to extreme lengths to avoid taking responsibility for our mistakes. Whether it's intentional or not depends on the person and the situation. So why don't humans see or realize and admit their mistakes should be the separate discussion of some future video. But in this video, let's assume that people accept a mistake so as to avoid repeating them. So in this case, just like the physician with a detailed knowledge about our body and how it works, if we know more about how our mind works and make decisions, then we might be one step closer in accurately diagnosing our mistakes. When I studied different cognitive biases and logical fallacies, I realized how gullible our mind is and how easily our decision making is influenced in our day-to-day life. So for example, you are in the middle of conversation with your friends and you are trying to make sense of some bizarre incident or trying to understand the causes of some phenomenon. Then you are almost likely to mistake correlation with causation. Just knowing this logical fallacy should give you a pause and make you think deliberately before jumping to any conclusions. In addition to mistaking correlation with causation, how often do you think we incorrectly generalize from limited information and our one-dimensional experience? If you are interested in learning more about how to avoid generalizing about people or how to minimize our generalization instinct, you should check out my book review of Factfulness by late Hans Rosling. So the question remains, don't we ever learn from our mistakes? I think there's an exception. Let's say a child puts her finger on fire. She learns pretty quickly about her mistake. She knows exactly what she mustn't do if she doesn't want to get her fingers burned in the future. The main characteristic of this kind of mistake is that first, the causation of the outcome is straightforward. Putting her finger on fire caused the outcome, fingers burned. And second, the feedback is immediate. We got the outcome, fingers burned, immediately after she performed an action, putting finger on fire. So we have this spectrum in which on one end there lies events with simple or straightforward causation, on the other end there lies events with complex and unknown numbers of causation. So when the causation of an event is straightforward and simple and the feedback is immediate, we might correctly assess the mistakes and might avoid repeating them. But the question is, how many of our mistakes and its causation are that straightforward and its feedback is that clear and immediate? I guess not many. So coming back to our point, it's one thing to be successful and it's quite another to accurately describe what were the contributing factors to that success. It's one thing to build Facebook, Amazon, Apple, but it's quite another to be able to tell what were all the reasons for their success. Hundreds and thousands of factors contribute to the success of a company, and the truth is we have no idea about the majority of those contributing factors. If you really want to get a scientific answer about success or a successful company, say for example Facebook, we would have to go back to its founding year, which is 2004, and create million copies of the world and start Facebook in its copy to see how many times it would succeed. And then we keep tweaking and experimenting with every factor that we know of or assume is responsible for Facebook's success. To end this video, I want to share with you an excerpt from Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1, which concisely summarizes this video. There's no formula for success. The paradox of teaching entrepreneurship is that such a formula necessarily cannot exist because every innovation is new and unique and no authority can prescribe in concrete terms how to be innovative. Indeed, the single most powerful pattern I've noticed is that successful people find value in unexpected places, and they do this by thinking about business from first principle instead of formulas. And from what I understand, I shared my thought process about how we can find value in unexpected places in my previous video, Next $1 Billion Idea. Thank you so much for your time.